The story of the man-eaters of Tsavo is one that captivates and intrigues us to this day. The tale of these infamous lions and their reign of terror has inspired countless books, films, and documentaries. But what if there is more to this story than meets the eye? What if the man-eaters of Tsavo were not just a pair of rogue lions, but something much more mysterious and sinister? In this episode, we explore the terrifying stories of these notorious beasts that haunted the construction of the Uganda Railway in the early 1900s. To truly understand the significance of the man-eaters of Tsavo, we must first delve into the history of the region. Tsavo, located in what is now Kenya, was once a place of great importance to the indigenous people who lived there. It was a place of great spiritual significance, and many believe that the land was inhabited by powerful spirits and supernatural beings. The Tsavo region is a rugged and inhospitable wilderness. It is a place of extremes where the unforgiving terrain meets the harsh realities of life. For the construction of the Uganda Railway in the early 1900s, this remote location presented a daunting challenge to the British colonizers. The railway was being built to connect the Indian Ocean to the inland regions of East Africa. It was a mammoth undertaking that required a lot of manpower and resources. The work was hard, and the conditions were brutal, with the workers having to deal with the harsh climate, dangerous animals, and diseases. But the workers faced a far more terrifying threat than they could have imagined. In 1898, two maneless male lions began attacking and killing the workers who were building the railway. These lions were unlike any other lions that had been seen before. They were enormous, ferocious, and cunning. For nearly 10 months, the man-eaters of Tsavo terrorized the railway construction workers. They killed and ate over 135 people. They would attack their victims at night, dragging them from their tents and devouring them in a gruesome display of savagery. The workers were petrified, and the authorities were at a loss as to how to stop the carnage. It seemed like nothing could stand in the way of these ruthless beasts. Why did they develop a taste for human flesh? These are questions that have puzzled historians, zoologists, and adventurers for over a century. There have been many theories put forth to explain the behavior of these lions. Some believe that they were man-eaters because their teeth were damaged, and they couldn't hunt their usual prey. Others speculate that they had developed a taste for human flesh because they had been exposed to it during the construction of the railway. Many theories have been put forward to explain the behavior of these lions. Some have suggested that they were driven to man-eating due to a lack of prey, while others have attributed their actions to their advanced age or some kind of genetic mutation. But what if there was another explanation? What if the man-eaters of Tsavo were not ordinary lions at all, but something much more otherworldly? What if they were, in fact, the physical manifestation of the spirits that had long inhabited the land of Tsavo? This theory may seem far-fetched, but there are many indications that suggest it could be true. For one thing, the attacks of the man-eaters of Tsavo were not typical of lion behavior. Lions are usually nocturnal hunters, but they tend to avoid humans whenever possible. The fact that these lions were actively seeking out and attacking humans suggests that they were motivated by something more than just hunger. According to this theory, the man-eaters of Tsavo were not lions but spirits that had possessed the bodies of two ordinary lions. These spirits were angry at the British colonizers for encroaching on their land and disrupting the natural order of things. The spirits had chosen the bodies of two lions because they knew that these animals were powerful and feared by humans. They had possessed these lions and unleashed them on the construction workers to punish the British for their arrogance and disrespect. While this theory may sound far-fetched, it cannot be entirely dismissed. After all, the man-eaters were unlike any other lions that had been seen before. They were smarter, more aggressive, and more fearless than any other lions in the region. Unlike most lions, they did not attack their prey from behind. Instead, they would stalk their victims for hours, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. They would also drag their victims away from the camp, making it difficult for the workers to find their bodies. Furthermore, the behavior of the man-eaters of Tsavo was highly ritualistic. They would drag their victims to a specific location and then consume only certain parts of their bodies, leaving others untouched. This kind of behavior is more reminiscent of a religious or spiritual ritual than the actions of a hungry predator. Another piece of evidence supporting the supernatural theory is the fact that the man-eaters of Tsavo were almost immune to the weapons of the British. The workers and the authorities tried everything to kill the lions, but their efforts were futile. The bullets seemed to bounce off their thick hides, and the traps set for them were ineffective. In the end, it was the skill of one man, Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson, that brought an end to the reign of terror of the man-eaters of Tsavo. Patterson was an experienced hunter and tracker who had been brought in by the authorities to deal with the lions. He spent months studying the behavior of the man-eaters, and in the end, he was able to kill them both. Patterson was a British Army officer and engineer who was working on the construction of the Uganda Railway in Kenya when the man-eaters of Tsavo attacked. He was tasked with dealing with the problem, and his experience with the man-eaters is documented in his book, The Man-Eaters of Tsavo, which was first published in 1907. However, even Patterson himself could not fully explain the behavior of the man-eaters of Tsavo. He wrote extensively about his experience with the lions, but he could not come up with a satisfactory explanation as to why they were so different from other lions. In his book, Patterson describes in detail his encounters with the man-eaters and the tactics he used to finally kill them. He also provides insights into the behavior of the lions, their hunting strategies, and their ability to avoid detection. Patterson's writing is a fascinating account of the events that took place and provides a valuable record of the man-eaters' behavior. Patterson's book is considered a classic in the field of African wildlife and has been read by generations of readers interested in African wildlife and adventure. It has also been adapted into several movies and documentaries, including the 1996 film, The Ghost in the Darkness, which stars Val Kilmer as Patterson. Despite his success in killing the man-eaters, Patterson was never fully satisfied with his explanation of their behavior. He was puzzled by their unusual tactics and resistance to the British weapons, and his writings reflect his ongoing curiosity about the man-eaters of Tsavo. Overall, Patterson's book is a must-read for anyone interested in the man-eaters of Tsavo and the history of African wildlife. It provides a first-hand account of the events that took place and sheds light on the behavior of these mysterious and terrifying creatures. The mystery of the man-eaters of Tsavo has intrigued people for over a century, and it continues to do so to this day. Was their behavior due to some natural or environmental factor, or were they indeed supernatural beings sent to punish the British colonizers? We may never know the answer for sure, but the legend of the man-eaters of Tsavo will always remain a fascinating and terrifying part of African folklore. It is worth noting that the attacks of the man-eaters of Tsavo coincided with a period of great upheaval in the region. The arrival of European settlers and the construction of the railway represented a major disruption to the traditional way of life of the indigenous people. It is possible that the spirits of Tsavo were angered by these changes and chose to manifest themselves in the form of the man-eaters as a way of lashing out against the invaders. In conclusion, the story of the man-eaters of Tsavo is not just a tale of two rogue lions. It is a story that speaks to something much deeper and more mysterious. It is a story of the collision between two worlds, of the clash between modernity and tradition, and of the enduring power of the spirits that inhabit the land. As we continue to explore the mysteries of our world, the story of the man-eaters of Tsavo will remain a haunting reminder of the mysteries that still elude us.